Hello, Too Cool Stamping friends. This is Angie, and we're here again this week. Not quite live. We had to do something a little different this week. I was not available to be live at 9 a.m. this morning, but I am doing a pre-recorded video for you because I didn't want you to miss this week. I wanted to show you this project that I think you're really gonna love it. It's perfect for Valentine's Day. It's great for if you personally want to give out some Valentine's cards, or if you want to give maybe a whole gift set to someone else that can use these really cute Valentine's cards. So we're going to use the From My Heart suite, really pretty for this time of year, and it has awesome paper. So I know you're going to really love it. We're also going to do a class kit with this particular project, so stay tuned for more information about that. I'll have the host code. It's actually going to be the same host code we used for last week for the class kit, so if you have that available, that will be the same one, but when we turn the camera upside down, you're going to be able to see that host code that you can use in order to get a free class, which means all of the pre-cut supplies that you need to create the class that we're doing today. So that will be open from today until next Tuesday. And for some reason, I don't have the date for that. It would be the 14th. So 1 month from Valentine. So we're getting close. We need to get those projects created. So before we turn the camera around to show that, I just wanted to ask you, how's it going with Celebration? Have you placed your orders? Did you get some free stuff? Maybe even put in enough to get one of the little ladybug sets if you have a $300 order? Lots of goodies are available, and don't forget about that starter kit. That's the best deal ever. So that's going to give you $125 worth of product, free shipping on that. You get a stamp set of your choice in addition to that, plus the mini paper cutter and the 6x6 paper sampler, all of that. And it's only going to be just $99 plus tax if you have tax in your state. Free shipping, so that's all it is. So it's a really great deal, and then you'll also have that 20% discount that you can use on future orders as one of my team members. If you have more questions, you can always text me, email me, get a hold of me, and I'll be happy to give you more details about that. Okay, let's get started with our project today. I'm going to flip the camera around here, so hold on for a minute. All right, so here's our host code. You can see if you place a minimum $35 order and use the host code B939U64P, you will go ahead and get this really cute class kit. So let me show you what we're, actually I'm gonna move this up a little bit so you can see a little bit more of my workspace. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so here's our class. We have 4 different note cards. So here's one of our note cards. Again, this is all using the From My Heart suite. Here's the second one. And when you start out with note cards, it makes it really simple. You get the note cards and envelopes with your with them, so everything's easy to send. A little bit smaller than a traditional card. And then we'll have this really cute box that you can put them in. You can either put the cards inside, or you can fill it up with treats and give it as a little treat box. It's actually not little, it's very large. It's like 5 inches across by about 1.25 inches wide and about 4 inches high. So there's a lot of room in here. And I'll open it up in a minute to show you when we get to this section to put it together. I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, let's get started with our cards today. Get my supplies here. All right. So the first card that we're going to make is this one. And again, we're going to start with the note cards and envelopes. So everything's all pre-cut, pre-scored. We just fold that in half. Crease it with our bone folder. Then we're going to start building our background here. So here's our background piece. This is, I don't have all the measurements here, so I'll have to give you the measurements later on. So look for those. But we're going to decorate this with a piece of the From My Heart paper. And I want to show you real quick. The From My Heart paper is beautiful. I should have brought some over, but you'll never get a full idea of what it's like until you actually see it in person. It has really pretty, shiny, almost a pearlescent type of a foil for the accents on one side of all of the, or most of the pages, not all of them. So it's a specialty paper and all kinds of beautiful patterns for Valentine's and other occasions. All right, we're going to add, and it's pretty on both sides. It's like, which side do you want to use? It's hard to pick. So you may have heard my dog just bark. I actually have 2 dogs. You may have heard them bark. And I'm down in my basement studio, and I might have them barking because I think that some of my family members might be coming home. So, or moving around up there, so they're gonna make some noise. So, all right, we're gonna tie some of this really pretty satin ribbon in real red around that layer. I'm just gonna trim the ends here. And move that to the side. Now we can add that to our card front. Next, we are going to add our sentiment, and I already have a little die cut with the stitched shapes framelets. I'm going to bring over my piercing mat because this is a photopolymer stamp set. It's the Heartfelt stamp set, and when things are photopolymer, we like to use a piercing mat just to give us a little extra cushion that helps with the transfer of the ink. I'll be using Flirty Flamingo. This paper is white and real red and Flirty Flamingo. Real easy, real pretty Valentine's color combination. So here's a little sentiment on there. So lucky to have a friend like you. We're gonna pop that up with some dimensionals over the top. Oops. And add that. This one's down a little bit. Let me put this, well, I already have it adhered. So this one is up a little bit further. This one's down, so it's kind of going off the edge. So I probably would have wanted that to be a little bit higher. All right, and then we'll finish up with our focal point. I've already punched out a real red heart, and I have embossed it with the Parisians, I can't remember the name of it, Parisians folder. It's from the Parisian Blossoms suite. And then I also have punched out a Sparkle Glimmer heart, and these are both punched with our new heart punch pack. So we have one with a straight punch and one with a scalloped heart punch. So this makes layering really, really great, and there's so many images that you can layer with that particular, that match that particular punch. So I'm just going to add a couple of dimensionals on the back here. And you definitely want to use dimensionals when you are layering on top of a glimmer paper. There's not a lot that's going to stick to that, so you'll definitely want to add dimensionals. Even sticky tape isn't very good with that. And then we'll add that to the top. And then the final thing we're going to do is add some of the beautiful faceted gems. These also come in the From Your Heart suite, and these are really, really pretty. They don't have adhesive on the back, so you will have to just use a little dab of the multi-purpose glue. And so I'm just gonna add a couple little dots here, just tiny. I'm just gonna do 3 to give you an idea. The other thing you might want to have handy is the Take Your Pick tool. It has the end that has the putty on it, and that's gonna be really helpful to pick up your little faceted gems and actually put them the right way, and then put them where they're gonna go. Hold them there for a minute. You might want to use your finger, whoops. It's so sticky, sometimes it doesn't even want to let go, but it's going to help you pick them up out of this little jar here. So let me get another one. They're just so tiny, kind of hard to deal with sometimes. And those will dry in just a couple of minutes, probably not even that long. So I'm just using some, they're gems that are in the Flirty Flamingo color, real red, and also white. Whoops, I couldn't get that off of there. There we go. So all of these cards are going to have these little gems. I have to say they do take a little extra time because obviously they're kind of hard to pick up. If you have your Take Your Pick tool, that's also going to be great. If you don't have your Take Your Pick tool, you can actually just get like a toothpick and put some multi-purpose glue on the end, let that dry. That becomes a little sticky, putty pickup tool as well. So all these cards will have these little faceted gems on them, and I'll show you what they look like when we have each of the cards done, but I'm not gonna add them all just for time's sake. Okay, so that's our first card. All right, next. Here's our next card. This is one of the ones with really pretty paper. Do you see that shine? You can see that. And again, I'm going to start with that note card, an envelope. And we'll take some of that paper. Again, I'll have all the measurements later on my post. And I'll also be doing, I'll be doing a blog post, but I'll also have it on my Facebook page as well. So we layered that on some petal pink, which I love the way, even though it's kind of a flirty flamingo, it also kind of goes with the petal pink color as well. Then we're gonna take some Whisper White twine, and I'm just gonna wrap this around a couple of times here. And we're going to tie it into a bow. I'm going to tie a knot just to keep it in place. Then tie a bow on top. And then we will trim the edges up. Okay. Trim those edges off, trim the ends off. And then I pop that up with dimensionals just to give it a little extra oomph. And then we're gonna, for the sentiment, again, we're gonna use that heart punch pack to create a layered sentiment. Actually, it's not layered, this is just one single straight edge heart. So here is our background. The layers actually come from the stamped part of the image. So this time we're going to start with an outline. It's a dotted outline. We're going to do that in Flirty Flamingo. And we're just stamping on some scrap paper right now. And we're going to add the From My Heart to Yours in some real red. Right in the middle. We'll use that punch, matches up perfectly to punch that out. And again, we're going to use some dimensionals to pop that up. These come together so quickly and it's a lot of fun. You might even, this could be a really fun project to give to your teacher as a little gift set. So you can work with your student, your child, and put that together. And then I finished up with one single little faceted heart gem. So there's our second card. All right, our third card, we have a horizontal one this time, using some different stamps. Fold our note card, we're gonna put our, this is another one of my favorite. Look at that shiny piece from the From My Heart Designer Series paper. We'll add that with some snail. And we'll put that right across the middle of the card. Next, I already have a die cut from the Stitched Nested label die. We're gonna stamp this really pretty arrow, because of course if you have hearts, you have to have arrows. Stamp that right across the middle. And we'll add a 1.5 inch circle punch with the Love You Lots. Image. And before we put these on, we're going to add some of the tulle, the polka dot tulle. We're going to wrap that around our card front and tie that in a knot, double knot. I love that polka dot. It goes with the polka dot paper, adds a little bit of texture and fun. Pull that over to the edge here. All right, let me crease this a little bit more so it lays down a little better. Okay, then we're gonna assemble everything with some additional glue dot, or not glue dots, dimensionals. Okay, put that over this pretty ribbon. And then also pop up our circle. Right there in the middle. Oops. We have one other little piece here that is a Whisper White twine. I've already tied that in a bow. I'm going to put that on with a glue dot. So I just expose the glue dot, press it right on there. I pinch it a little bit and then add that bow right there. So that's the basic card. Again, you're going to definitely want to add some faceted gems to the card to kind of accent, pull the coordination of the polka dots out onto the other part of the card. So super cute. All right, one more card. And this one also uses some of the fun paper as the background. Now this one we actually cut off about 3/4 of an inch of that card front. So you can see it's a little bit shorter. I'm going to take this striped piece. I love that. These patterns are so fun. It's like you can really mix and match and use either side. You can for just about any Stampin' Up! Paper, but usually sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm like, ooh, I really love that side. Don't like that side as much if the decision isn't hard for me. But these are really cute on both sides. Okay, this little heart is already punched out and it's actually part of the paper. So you can see on here, does it show it? You can see right here, this pattern. It's actually just a bunch of those hearts, and you can use your heart punch from the Heart Punch Pack to punch them directly out of your paper so they are all ready to go and they have that beautiful shine and shimmer. So that is ready to go. You can also punch out, oh, did I not have it? What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. It fell on the floor, it got away from me. There's also another piece of paper in there that you can punch out that has these beautiful heart shapes. And that is the first piece that you can see here. So they have not only Flirty Flamingo, but also the real red. And you can punch those out either with the scalloped or the straight edge. So I did it with the scallop. I'm gonna pop up the other piece. So no stamping on these, just punches. We'll layer these together. So cute. And before, I guess I'll go ahead and put that on. Now notice for this card, we don't want to add any adhesive over here because we don't want it to stick to the back, so be careful about that. The way I know that I'm not going to hit that is I kind of flip it over 180, and that way I can kind of tell where I don't want to have adhesive. So I'm going to stick that right here. Now we're going to add some stamping to the back. So I'm going to start out with some Flirty Flamingo, and this is kind of a little heart burst. Put some of those on there, and then we'll also add some other, just kind of an outline of a heart in real red. There we go, fill that up. You'll also add in some additional faceted dots just to give it a little sparkle and shine, so don't forget to do that. And then we have one little sentiment here. I have a little tiny strip of Whisper White and a little tiny word love. And we'll just stamp that on there and trim that off. And you can either pop it up, or I'm just going to add a little bit of snail. I'm doing this upside down. Let's do it this way. Just a little bit of snail to make it stick right here on our heart. All right, there's our fourth card. So cute. So those are our 4 cards. Now I'm gonna show you how to do the box to hold it in. And let me open this box for you so you can see what it is and how big it is. So it has a really pretty band around it. And then we open it up. And this front flap kind of tucks behind. And then we have a great big area here. Like I said, you can put either the cards in there. They fit in there really nicely, along with the envelopes. So you can put all 4 of those in there and give it as a little gift set, or you can fill it up with candy, or you could put a gift card in there along with some other fun stuff. Socks would fit in there, I think. Hair accessories, all kinds of things. So it's a really cute box, and I'm going to show you how to make that. So we're going to start with a piece of 11 by 7 3/4. Again, I'll have all the measurements on my post later today. And so it'll be 11 by 7 3/4. We are scoring along the short side at 1 1/4 and 6 1/2. And then on the longer side, we're going to score at 1, at 2 1/4, at 6, and at 7 1/4. Okay, so that is our basic scores, and then we need to make some cuts. So we're going to cut up these to make little tabs, and this side, this will be on the wider side. You're going to cut up, and then you'll do that on the other side. On this other side, I want you to cut this way from the short end. You're going to cut off this corner piece because you don't need it. You'll cut up this side to the score line, cut off this corner piece. And then just so that these little tabs will tuck in a little bit better, I like to just trim off the edge and make them more slanted. That way they're going to tuck into the box a little bit better. Do you see that? I'm sorry, I was kind of out of the picture there for a second. So that's our basic box, and you'll go ahead and you'll use your bone folder and score on all of these lines. Then you're going to want to add some tear and tape. Doesn't really take much tape. If you turn it over, and you're gonna only, the side that has the tabs that we just cut with the two tabs that are slanted, there's a couple of side pieces here that you just want to put tear and tape on both edges, right next to the score line and on the outside edge. And that is all the tape that you're going to need to assemble this box. Okay, let me fold this before we get going there. Make sure I'm folded up. Okay, now we're going to tuck this piece in. This is going to go on the outside and just overlap that nice and flush. It just comes together really naturally. Tuck your little tab in on this side. Fold the sticky side in and then the outside. So there's your box. It's already put together. And then we're gonna make, like I said, we're gonna have this little closure here. So it'll hold that nice and closed. You'll also have that ribbon that goes around it as well. So let's decorate it really quickly here. We have some striped paper that goes on the front, and I'm just gonna add that with some snail. We're also going to decorate the top part here. So we have a little strip for this top flap. Add some shine to it. And then underneath we have a little piece of sparkle paper. So to do that, we're going to add some tear and tape. And I will say this, I told you earlier that tear and tape doesn't always work with the glimmer paper. You might need to use a little bit of the multi-purpose glue, but I'm using tear and tape just to make it a little faster right now. But the multi-purpose glue will definitely hold a little bit better. You'll have to make sure that you push it together and let it dry completely, but it'll get into the nooks and crannies of that a little better. I'm gonna trim off that little side piece. So here's our flap. We're gonna finish up again, doing the same From My Heart stamp image that we had on one of our cards. So we do that with our Flirty Flamingo. And From My Heart in the middle. Punch that with our Heart Pack Punch. I told you my dogs are gonna bark. Did you hear that? And you want to pop this up with a few dimensionals onto the doily. So they have doilies in this suite as well, and they come in Real Red and Flirty Flamingo. Kind of reminds me of my childhood when we have doilies like that. We're going to add some dimensionals on the bottom. And you definitely want to make sure that your dimensionals are within this dotted line, because you want to have this free at the top so you can tuck that box in behind it. Did you know that you can get all of the items in the suite in a suite bundle? That's kind of a newer thing, and Stampin' Up! Has that available. So if you look on the suite page in your mini catalog, you can see a number that you can get everything all at once. Just makes it easy to order. So check that out. So now we have our focal point, and then that's just sliding right behind it. That's going to keep it nice and closed. Of course, you're going to add in a faceted dot if you want to, or more. You can do all of that. And then you can tie your ribbon all the way around it, which I'm just going to show you this one since it's already tied. And there's your finished box. So super cute. Well, let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to know what you think. Also, don't forget that I will send you this class kit, all of the parts and pieces to make it. If you simply place an order at my online store, You can find that by going to twocoolstamping.com and clicking on the Shop Now link. That's the easiest way to get there. Or you can go there directly if you go to twocool.stampinup.net. Again, to get that free class kit, you just need to place a $35 order. And don't forget, you have to have the host code. I have several host codes out there, and in order to know which one, which incentive, which free thing that you want, you definitely need to put the host code in for the free item that you want. So for your free class kit for the From My Heart 4-card and gift box set for Valentine's, don't forget to use B939U64P. Okay, everybody, we'll get our cards out here again so you can see what they look like. I hope that you've enjoyed this class today, and I hope that you place an order, get a free class kit, and try it out yourself. I know that you're going to really, really enjoy it. All right, everybody, thanks so much for joining me this week. Sorry I couldn't be live, but I'm glad that I could at least get a video out to you so that you can enjoy a project. All right, everybody, I'll see you next week live at 9 a.m. Eastern Time right here on my Two Cool Stamping Facebook page. Until then, happy stamping. Bye-bye.